Hello, it's Bryan here from thegreatgooddino.com, and this video I've called Depression and Why I'm Giving You the Finger. Now, it's not very nice, you might think, but it's not the finger that you think I'm going to give you. It's that finger. And why am I giving you that finger? Well, you might think that finger's all bent. Look, all bent, and it is bent. The reason it's bent is because in 1997 I was cutting a potato. This is about depression, by the way, bear with me, but there's some background. I was cutting a potato, and it's well known that when you're cutting potato you shouldn't hold it in your hand and cut down because it could all end in tears. But I thought I'd be okay. I was cutting down into a potato with a knife that was a lot sharper than I thought it was, as I was about to find out, and I cut down through the potato, which didn't hold the knife as well as I thought it would, and the knife went straight through the potato and straight down into my finger, straight down to the bone. I thought to myself, that stung a little bit, and as I looked I could see a thin jet black line, and I knew I'd cut myself quite deeply. And in fact I'd cut, as I said, down to the bone, straight down to hospital. I ended up at East Grinstead Hospital, where they did surgery on the finger, and I've got comedy stitch marks going all the way down the finger because they had to open it up from there to there to get the ends of the ligaments, which had gone twang, twang, and they stretched them back together and sewed them up. And I had lots of physiotherapy, and I was told that in time the finger would be bent and wouldn't be totally straight because the ligaments and all the stuff inside it, was the tendons were a lot shorter because I had cut through them. So that's why I'm giving you the finger, and that's the story behind it. But you might be saying, what's that got to do with depression? Well, when I cut my finger and had the operation, and before I had the physio, between the operation and the physio, I had to have this cage. This was in 1997. Things might have advanced in the 20 years since then, but I had to have this sort of protective cage around my hand for 6 weeks. So I had to live and work and play and do everything without using my left hand because I had this protective cage around the whole hand. And during those 6 weeks, and when I said to people why it had happened and the story behind it, no one said to me, oh, your finger will be better if you type the complete works of Shakespeare. No one said to me, oh, your finger's all right really, suck it up and get on with it. No one said to me, yeah, your finger's not that bad, it'll be okay, don't worry about it. Because everyone accepted that I'd cut through my finger, that it needed surgery and physiotherapy to make it right again, and that it needed to be protected for 6 weeks in order to make it right again. But with depression, what can happen, and actually I will say here, you might be thinking, he doesn't know about depression. Yes, I do, because when I cut that finger nearly 20 years ago, in 1997, I was in the middle, at the beginning of some very bad depression. And when I say bad depression, and this is part of the point in this video, I don't just mean I was a bit upset. I don't just mean I was a bit sad. I had depression. There was a chemical reaction that had happened in my brain and was continuing to happen in my brain, which affected the way I was thinking about things. And it affected the way I lived my life, and it took me to a very bad place that took me years to get over. Not weeks, not months, years. And it's affected me ever since. I can quite honestly say it's affected me to this day, nearly 20 years later. And the point that I'm making here is that with depression, some people say, oh, you're all right, suck it up, get on with it, make do, deal with it. Or they might say, oh, you'll be okay, you haven't actually got depression, you're just a bit sad, you're just a bit unhappy. Now, one of the troubles with depression is that it's possible you haven't got depression and that you are just a bit sad, you are just a bit unhappy, and you haven't actually got depression. And that's why a lot of people will say, just dismiss it, just get on with it, without actually realising that what you need is the equivalent of what I needed with my finger. When I needed medical attention and I needed a protective cast around it for weeks and I needed years to get over it, and everyone accepted that what had happened, no one doubted it. So, if you think you've got depression, find out, make sure you have got depression rather than just feeling a bit sad or having some unhappy thoughts. And if someone tells you they've got depression, don't just dismiss it out of hand. Don't tell them to suck it up and get on with it. Don't tell them to deal with it, they'll be okay. Talk to them. Ask them what's going on. And one of the biggest things you can do to help someone with depression is just to listen to them. I've found that through my own personal experience. So, depression and why I'm giving you the finger. Hope you found that content helpful. If you have found it helpful, let me know. Leave a comment below. Pop over and see me at the website, The Great Gordino. Come over and connect with me on Facebook, facebook.com/The Great Gordino. Leave a comment below. Feel free to share the video around, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.